Welcome to the Relationship Series. I'm your host, Genevieve. Here we talk about all things that have to do with making your relationships better. Because if your relationships are better, then you have a better life. And who doesn't want that? Today, we're going to be talking about the top 10 intimacy boosters. I think we can all use a little more intimacy in our lives. I do believe that loneliness is an epidemic. And a lot of people are looking for all kinds of intimacy, as we saw in the news recently with the Coldplay incident. And with many other, both celebrities and non-celebrities, really seeking out intimacy from different sources. I've been working on this list my entire life because I've struggled with feeling lonely my entire life and finding ways to not feel lonely anymore. This is my top 10 favorite things that we can start doing today to get results today around having our intimacy needs met. To come up with this list, I asked myself, 1, what can we start doing now to get instant results? 2, when do I feel most close to people? When do most people feel most close to me, or when have they told me they feel closest to me? And specifically people I'm not having sex with. We're talking about intimacy that goes deeper than just physical intimacy, although we will include that. I asked myself these questions, and this is what I came up with. Top 10 intimacy boosters, number 10. Pray or meditate. This has to do with finding something that goes beyond our 5 senses. When I felt the most closeness, and when others have told me that they felt most close to me, we were praying together, we were slowing down together, we were accessing deeper parts of ourselves together. And I think one of the deepest forms of intimacy is spiritual intimacy. If you're not a person of faith, if you are a person who doesn't necessarily subscribe as yet to a faith background or a religious background or anything like that, things that you can practice are like meditation, silence, things that allow you to access your soul, allow you to access your emotions, allow you to access yourself on different levels other than your 5 senses, or including your 5 senses, but in a deeper way. Praying together is a great way to boost intimacy very, very quickly. And again, you don't have to be religious to pray. You just have to be real and know that there's something out there. I know some people pray to the universe. Some people do all kinds of things. I'm a person of faith, so I pray to God, and I believe Jesus saved my life. If that's not your thing, then find something that taps into the spiritual part of you and share that with your people, share that with your friends, share that with whomever you're making an attempt to build intimacy with. Growing up in church, my pastor used to say, pray for your enemies. And I'd be like, why am I praying for my enemies? Am I praying that they die? What am I praying for my enemies, right? But I've tried it. And if you pray for someone, there's something that wells up in your heart for them. Like this recognition of their humanity. There's a compassion that comes. There's an empathy that comes. There's an understanding that comes. And I think that is the basis of connection. That is the basis of relating well to other people. Being willing to put yourself in other people's shoes, to see them, and to really understand them as best you can. And praying can do that. Praying can help you do that. My challenge for you, do something spiritual, pray, walk around in silence with somebody, offer gratitude with somebody. That is my challenge for you for number 10. Top 10 intimacy boosters, number 9. It's actually one of my favorites. Reading together, reading with someone else. We actually do this very, very naturally. We find an article, we find a poem, we want to share it with somebody else. So we send it via our social media sites and so on, or we recommend a book that we've read that helped us to change our perspective on love or our perspective on life or whatever the case is. We do this naturally, but I think if we do it more intentionally, it can be a very big intimacy booster for us in our relationships. When we read together, we create it's like a shared experience or like a shared language. We know what we're talking about. I remember when I was in grad school, I read this book called, please don't get the name wrong, Rich Christians in an Age of Hunger. Rich Christians in an Age of Hunger. And it was a class text, but it completely shifted my perspective on my position in the world, on my level of privilege and power and access and so on. And there were so many experiences like mine from the class members. And I felt like a sense of connection with them. We still talk to this day. A sense of connection in terms of just our outlook being changed, right? We had this shared experience of reading this book that shifted our perspective on ourselves and on our lives. And we did that together. And that really brought about a sense of intimacy between us. We knew what we were talking about. But if I said it to anybody else, yes, we could talk about the principles. We have a lot and we're privileged and we have excess and all this stuff. But it was that experience that really brought about that sense of intimacy with those people. I think reading together creates that shared understanding, that shared language, that shared perspective. You can bond with those people faster, people that know the same things that you are interested in, the same thing that you're interested in. We have book clubs and Bible studies. These are group activities around reading, because reading it's an intimacy booster. I think we take it for granted. In most religious environments, in most sacred environments, they have texts, they have sacred texts that they read together, right? It creates a bond, it creates a shared experience and a shared language. My challenge to you there is to read something, read it with your friends, read it with your spouse, read it with whoever, and share your thoughts on what you read. Share what mattered to you about what you read. Share what hit you, share what rubbed you the wrong way. Share what hurt. That is a huge intimacy booster. That's number 9. Top 10 intimacy boosters. Number 8, non-sexual touch. Non-sexual touch. I want us to understand that we are designed for touch. We come out of our mom's bellies. We have to be held by mom. We have to be breastfed by mom. We are designed to thrive with touch. There have been studies where animals have been left alone in the dark without touch after birth, and they die. We don't thrive when we are alone, when we are an island, when we don't have connection, when we don't have relationship with others of our like kind. We don't. It's not good for man to be alone, right? As a good book says. I think non-sexual touch is something that we can learn, is something that we can master, and is something that we can use intentionally to connect with people that we want to build or deepen intimacy with. I think it reinforces closeness. It reinforces acceptance. Like, I'm accepted by you, you're accepted by me. I'm touching you, right? You're a part of me. And I think the non-sexual aspect creates safety, because if every time you feel touch, it's for a sexual purpose, then you associate touch with sexuality. And there might be an aversion towards that. And I know, especially for those of us who've experienced sexual trauma, right? We understand that sometimes we don't want to be touched because that touch has been dangerous, and that touch has been a threat to us in the past. And so when we come into a space where there is safety, where we're in relationship with people, and we do want to deepen intimacy, that non-sexual touch can be so powerful. And non-sexual touch can include just hugs, not sexual hugs, just hugs, holding hands, maybe resting a hand on the shoulder. I've watched people have conversations, and some people are so good at this. They'll say something, ha ha ha, and they'll laugh, and they'll lay a hand really gently on the shoulder, and then, or brush the elbow, and then just put their hands back. And it's very non-intrusive. So it's not offensive. It's not uncomfortable. It's not like creepy or anything. It's just a touch. And sometimes it can build that bridge and really break down some of those barriers. We're humans. We're here and we're relating. We're on the same level type of thing. I know many of us have been, again, deprived of that kind of touch, but if we use this intentionally, it can be so powerful for building intimacy in our relationships. My childhood friend and I used to sit in the bushes. It was the bushes behind the park, close to my house. And we would sit back to back, and we'd like press our backs against each other and just talk. And I remembered that when I was thinking about this point for intimacy building, because it was an intimate moment. It was an intimate experience with my bestie at the time. And I remember feeling really safe and supported. Like, we were just back to back, and we would just talk and laugh and share stories about our days at school, because we went to different schools. But it was just back to back, and it felt like so powerful. I know it probably sounds silly now, but it was so comforting at the time. Today, I'm a hugger. I love hugs. I one day hope to open a hug factory. So safe, non-sexual hugs, hug factory, because we're so deprived of this wonderful opportunity to just enjoy touch at this point in time in our lives. And I do know there's a lot of danger around touch and a lot of violations and so on. We do have to be careful, but I think if we can access this on a safe and intentional level, that it would really enhance and boost our intimacy levels. I'm a hug addict, 100%. My challenge to you guys today is to go and hug somebody. Hug somebody. Wait, hold on. Hug somebody that you feel safe hugging and that you want to build intimacy with, and that they also want to build intimacy with you. Don't just go hug random people, although that might be a thing. I know there are hug therapists who get paid to hug. I don't know if that's really my avenue, but it's a thing. Go hug somebody, engage in some intentional non-sexual touch of some sort, pat somebody on the shoulder, hold somebody's hand, do something that's non-sexual. And for hugging, there's a statistic that says if you hug for 8 seconds or more, it begins to heal something in your body. Your brain starts to settle, you begin to calm down, your nervous system starts to be at ease. It's like an 8-second or more hug. Imagine going and hugging somebody for like 30 seconds. It might not be 8 seconds, maybe it's 30 seconds. But either way, go and hug somebody or give somebody a back rub or a foot rub or something today so that you can enjoy building intimacy through non-sexual touch. Top 10 intimacy boosters. Number 7, share. Share something like a dream, share something like a secret, share something like a story, a background story, a childhood story or something with someone that you care about and that you want to build intimacy with. Sharing is probably the fastest way to get close to somebody. Sharing something about yourself. Vulnerability is like a VIP pass to intimacy. It is literally like, here's the open door. I'm opening myself up to you. My pastor used to say, intimacy is into me, seeing into me. And vulnerability does that. It says, here, you can see into me. You're welcome to see all the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm showing it to you voluntarily. I'm showing it to you willingly. And I'm hoping and praying and trusting that you're going to accept it, that you're going to receive it, that you're going to hold it, and you're still going to love me with all of it. Oh, beautiful. One of the things that I've heard the most is, I don't want to share because I'm afraid they might use it against me. Do your assessment wisely. Take your risks and take your chances wisely. What is worth it for you versus what you have to give, your cost. And so if it's going to cost you anxiety and stress and so on, then maybe not. I don't know. Or maybe you want to push past that and you want to learn this skill. Look at what you stand to gain from being vulnerable, being open, and sharing. The whole point is for you to build intimacy, for you to deepen intimacy, for you to boost intimacy. This also includes sharing honestly about things that you don't like and that you think the other person may not want to hear. Sometimes we don't share because we don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. We're already hurting their feelings by not sharing. We're withholding. And withholding is actually an intimacy killer. We want to boost our intimacy by being honest. We can do so tactfully and we can do so in a timely way, but do so. Don't hold back, don't withhold, especially your honest thoughts and feelings. One of the things that's helpful is to reframe the sharing as emotional honesty that is going to enhance my relationship. This is me being emotionally honest. And at the end of the day, I want to have better relationships. And so I'm going to be clear because it's kind. Clarity is kindness. Reframing it can help us see it differently and can help us do something differently with the sharing. I do this podcast with my ex-husband and it's called Sam and Jen Got Divorced. And so I was thinking about ideas for upcoming episodes. And one of the ideas was things I wish I'd said. And as I was thinking about things I wish I'd said, I realized there were so many things I wish I had said. Well, how do you fully get to know someone, or how do you allow someone to fully get to know you if you're unwilling to say the things that need to be said if you're unwilling to share, right? And then we feel unknown, we feel lonely, we feel isolated, we feel misunderstood because we haven't taken the chance, we haven't taken the opportunity to share. And yes, it is hard. And yes, it does hurt sometimes because some people are crazy and they will use it against you. But is it worth the risk is the question. And at the end of the day, I believe it is. You have to assess that for yourself. Be honest, say the things that need to be said. Banish fear if fear is a part of it, and know that you're probably not going to hurt their feelings. They're probably going to be very happy that they know now what's on your mind and what's in your heart, rather than trying to guess or trying to figure out why they're catching a vibe from you and they don't understand. Go for it. Share. Top 10 intimacy boosters. Number 6, laugh and play. I like this one. Laughter is laughter. You can't beat laughter. Laughter is like a stress reliever. Laughter is fun. Playing is fun. And it makes conflict so much easier. When you crack a joke, you can laugh as opposed to going at each other. Go ahead and laugh. Make those moments easier to handle. And do so intentionally, knowing that the laughter and the playing is for a purpose. The reason is so that you can boost your levels of intimacy and connection. You can feel closer. You can feel more connected. You can feel more known and seen. That is the point of relationship, to go deeper, to feel more connected, to feel more safe, to feel more secure. Those are all the benefits and the gains from doing this stuff intentionally, laughing and playing intentionally. If I'm really in a bad mood and I want to laugh, I'll turn on one of those streaming specials. And these kinds of things, these kind of rituals, giving each other nicknames and coming up with inside jokes and stuff like that, that's all about laughter. That's all about playing. That's all about building intimacy. That's all about building connection. You can do that intentionally in your relationships. Come up with nicknames for each other. Come up with inside jokes. Play games together. Me and my girlfriends, we play Would You Rather or Never Have I Ever. Oh, have you guys ever played that game? Sometimes it can get real cutthroat, but it's fun. It's fun. Think about how to do that intentionally with your friend group. Find games to play, find times to laugh, find ways to build inside jokes together, find nicknames for each other. I had I'm not even going to tell that story. But anyways, top 10 intimacy boosters. Number 7 is laugh and play. Oh, that was number 6. Sorry. Top 10 intimacy boosters. Number 5, FaceTime. FaceTime is a huge intimacy booster. Not FaceTime the app on Apple. FaceTime as in spending time face to face with other people. And that could be in a conference like this where we can see each other's faces. Spending time with each other, doing things. It could be a new activity, preferably, or it could be an old activity that's something that you guys enjoy together. But doing that together can reactivate passion and attraction and even awareness of where you guys are at in your communication and in your lives. The Gottman Institute, they have this thing called a love map. I love the concept. Map tells you where to go, tells you what the landmarks are, has a legend and all that stuff. The love map helps you to identify where you're going and how you're getting there. And part of the love map exercise is to ask your partner up-to-date questions about their lives. Every few months or every few years or so, you go to the map and you're like, hey, what streets have been lengthened, or what buildings have been put up, what restaurants have been built in that area, or what have you. It's pretty much like that. You're saying, hey, what is your favorite color now? It might not be red like it was a year ago. Who is your best friend now? It may not be that person that was your best friend before you had twins. Maybe you have a new person who's closer to you now because you have twins, right? Maybe you don't like that certain food anymore because you were pregnant and you can't eat that food anymore. Or maybe you turn vegan, or whatever the case is. The point is to update your understanding of this person who's in front of you, who's growing with you, who's living life and doing life alongside you. And this can be a friend, it could be a parent, it could be a child, it could be a spouse, it could be a boss or a manager, it could be whoever. If there's someone you want to build intimacy with, you want to be able to know who they are now, who they are at present, not who they were 5 years ago, and not who they're going to be 5 years from now. You want to know who they are today. And that means you have to lean in. And that doing FaceTime with that person, that can be a huge game changer. Sitting down in front of someone and just having a conversation. Hey, what's going on? What's happening? Sitting down with someone or going out with someone or doing something with someone. You're getting a chance to engage with that person. And it could be something new. And my friend group and I, we always look for like fun new things in the city. And Toronto is probably one of the most epic places to find new things to do. There's always stuff popping up in Toronto. Axe throwing and knife throwing and archery, dodgeball and adult playgrounds. And there's so much to do that's new. And you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a pro. It's just going and having a good time. And the point here is to do FaceTime with others intentionally, knowing that you're doing it for the purpose of boosting your intimacy with those people or with that person. I think I was 9 years old. I was in elementary school and my parents moved us from the city to the suburbs. And I was one of two Black girls in my school. And I used to try stuff with my friends just because I didn't want to feel left out. And so there were things that I wanted to try that I was like, oh, this would be fun. And my friends would be like, that's dumb. And I'd be like, oh, that is dumb. But I didn't really think it was dumb. I thought it was great. But you want to fit in. So you have to like go along to get along sometimes. But there were things that, and this is one I remember very vividly, there were things that I went along with that I was just like, this is dumb. We were at a sleepover one night at a friend's house and they were playing with this deepening, the Ouija board. I was like, this is not for me. I don't want to play around with demons. I don't like ghosts and I don't like ghost stories. And this is not for me. But it was kind of one of those moments. It was like, well, I want to belong. I want to build closeness with these girls. I'm just going to do the things. FaceTime is a very big intimacy booster. Take the time to do it. Top 10 intimacy boosters, number 4, compliments. Compliments are great intimacy boosters, and particularly compliments that don't have anything to do with appearance. Not your hair is great or your outfit's nice or you look so pretty, none of that stuff, but compliments that go deeper. Compliments that see beyond the obvious. Compliments that speak to things that cannot be seen by the eyes, let's say. Intimacy is a close thing. The whole point of being intimate is that we are close. Somebody from afar can see that I'm pretty. Somebody from afar can see that my hair is in locks. Somebody from afar can see that my shirt is nice or whatever the case is. But once you come close to me and I want you to be in my space and in my life, then there are parts of me that you get to see that others don't get to see. There are parts of me that you get to hear that others don't get to hear. And when somebody affirms those parts of you, that builds intimacy and closeness and safety and affirmation and trust and all those kinds of things that help us to do relationships better. When I say, oh, your hair's nice. Well, I mean, sure. But when I say, man, I've seen how you've grown in your ability to express your emotions. What? What do you mean? That's wild to me. How do you see that? You can't, unless you've journeyed with me, unless you spent time watching me, observing me, unless you spent time in my space listening to me and caring for me, you would never know that. And I think that's part of building or boosting our intimacy is really seeing people and allowing ourselves to be seen. And compliments, when you sit down, you start thinking, and I've done this sometimes, just intentionally thinking, what is it that I really love about this person? What is it? Sometimes I do this with clients that I find challenging to work with. I'll be like, what is it that I love about this person? What is it that I really appreciate about this person? How can I validate this person in their process? And I'll think of something that allows them to feel seen, right? Feeling seen is 10 times better than feeling sexy. Right? Nice dress. Great. The designer made a nice dress and it looks good on me. But oh my goodness, you have demonstrated such a capacity to be generous. Or wow, you are so creative. Or there's a resilience about you that I see and that I notice as you pursue the things and the goals that you have for your life. Like those are deep. I actually experienced this yesterday. I was chatting with a friend of mine and he said, what did he say? He said, I just want to let you know that your consistency is inspiring. Yes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? It was such a simple comment, but the fact that you have been tracking with me long enough to recognize that, and the fact that you decided, you didn't have to say that. You didn't have to say those words. You know what I mean? There's no requirement to say anything, but the fact that you took time out to say that, how affirming was that to me? How validating was that? How encouraging was that to me, right? And then I'm like, oh wow, I feel seen by this person, right? This is an intimacy booster. Now we're more deeply connected. When we want to intentionally boost our intimacy, compliments can be a really, really good, quick way, and can like break down barriers as well. Because sometimes people really do think, oh my God, do they like me? Or do they really, do they secretly like dislike me or what? People like these things go around in people's heads. Sometimes they go around in my head too. My challenge for you today is, of course, to send a message to somebody or say something to somebody that has to do with seeing who they are on the inside beyond their nice shoes or fashion sense. Top 10 intimacy boosters. Number 3, ask good questions. This is one I got from therapy because I find that intimacy is built in therapy very quickly. We create a bond and a rapport very quickly with people, and people say things in therapy that they would never say outside of therapy about their lives and about themselves and about their thoughts. And so there has to be a measure of trust there, asking good questions in the therapeutic space, in the therapeutic conversation, is something that builds that intimacy really quickly. Clients will often say, oh, that's a good question. I've never thought to reflect on that before. And so that it sort of helps people to peel back layers and show themselves and reveal themselves. When we ask good questions, it helps us to get a better sense of who people are, and it helps them to trust us more. If we want to boost intimacy, ask better questions more than like, how was your day? Or how are you doing today? How are you? Right? Go deeper. Ask questions. Like, what made you smile today? I was in this long distance relationship for a while, and every day we would talk like in the morning, and the first question would be like, how did you sleep? And at the time, okay, how did you sleep? I slept okay. But like every day for like days and weeks and months, the same question. Let's come up with better questions. And I mean, there could have been a genuine desire to know how I slept, and that's fine. But let's go a little bit more. Let's do a little bit more. Let's come up with some good questions to ask each other and to answer. That can build intimacy. It builds conversation. It opens up the door for sharing and all of that good stuff. And ask open-ended questions. Ask broad questions as opposed to like, what's your favorite color, which is like one word answer, or a yes or no question like, do you like milk? A broader question would be, what kinds of foods do you like? Or what kind of foods do you enjoy? What kind of food do you enjoy cooking? Or that kind of thing. Like those are sort of get to know you questions, but they're also ongoing questions that you can pose to the people that are around you, whether it's your friends or your workmates or whoever it is. What you're looking to do is boost intimacy. And so questions can do that really, really quickly. And there are card decks galore that can help you do this. One of the card decks that I really like is called the Skin Deep or the And. It's a whole bunch of questions, like 100 questions or something like that. And it's really just for you to stimulate conversation. Oh, there's healing edition, there's romantic edition, there's dating edition, there's friends and family, there's amusing edition. There's so many editions. The Skin Deep, the And. Go check it out. It'll help you to come up with better questions. That's my challenge. Ask a minimum of 3 good questions today to the people that you want to build and boost intimacy with. Yesterday we were talking. It was a group of girlfriends. We just went out for breakfast. She was just like, hey, what's one of the top life lessons that you live by? And we just all went around the table and talked about our life lesson and where it came from and how it came about. And it was a great time. We just had a chance to talk and share. And that was just a different question that we don't normally ask. Like, oh, hey, how's the food? Let's go deeper. We can do this anytime, any day. If you can ask what's going on for you right now, what are you sort of holding, what's happening for you, and you can go deeper. You can boost your intimacy. Top 10 intimacy boosters. These are my last 2, and they are my favorites. Number 2, This is so free, guys. This is so free. Top 10 intimacy boosters. Number 2, eye contact. Eye contact is gold. It is gold and platinum and diamonds. It is so big for building intimacy and connection with other people. The same game that I was talking about called the Skin Deep. To start the game, you have to sit knee to knee with the other person and make eye contact for 30 seconds. It's powerful stuff. It's like you get a chance to break down the barriers that keep us apart, right? The narratives that are in our heads that are constantly going, the inner critics and the negative self-talk that are in all of the stuff that keep us from connecting, that keep us apart, that push people away and push us away from others. Eye contact can help to break down those barriers. Amnesty International did a study where they had locals and immigrants or refugees come together in a space. It was just like a warehouse space. And their test was to find out if the hypothesis was true. The hypothesis is if you make eye contact with someone for 4 minutes or more, you can fall in love with them. I know, it's cute, but they brought people together and they had them sit down across from each other and make eye contact for 4 minutes. And you would not believe, I'm going to find the link and post it. You would not believe these people. Some of them broke down crying. Some of them were laughing. Some of them were trying to communicate. They didn't even speak the same language. The children that did it, they ended up like playing together. And it was so powerful just to watch strangers come and sit down in front of another human being, look at them and make connection. See into they say the eyes are the window to the soul. Just to look at them and to see into their humanity, to see them as a human being. Oh my goodness. Eye contact, so powerful for that. It says, I see you. Have you ever tried to connect with somebody without eye contact? I saw this clip on social media. It was promoting friends with benefits. And the young lady was saying, oh, there's nothing wrong with having sex with your friends. Just don't make eye contact. Because that's where the feelings come in. That's where the connection comes in, right? And I thought, my goodness, why? Why deprive ourselves? Why settle for this mediocre, low-level type of relationship? Why? When we can have these powerful, deep, intimate, secure, safe connections with other people. And we can implement these intimacy boosters at the drop of a hat for free today, right now, and see and get results. I dare you to try this. I dare you to try just making eye contact with someone that you care about and that you love and seeing them, just really seeing them, really looking at them. Oh my gosh, you will be amazed. You will be amazed. You will see a difference. There will be a change. Go ahead, make eye contact today. Notice what comes up. Don't speak. Just don't be like, oh, I'm making eye contact because Genevieve said that it's an intimacy booster. You don't need to intellectualize it. Just do it, right? Just start looking at people. Just start seeing people. And you can even try this with yourself. Sometimes I will look at myself in the mirror and I'll be like, who are you today? What are you about right now? Or I'll tell myself the things that I need to hear, or I'll speak to a particular season in my life that has been difficult or that I might be grieving. And so recently I realized that my overall sexual experience has been very traumatic and unsatisfying. And I was just praying to the Lord and saying, you know what, God, I would like to have a wholesome sexual experience at some point in time in my life, in my future. But I had to grieve the reality of my sexual experience. And I looked at myself and I said, Jen, you know what? We're going to let that go. We're going to forgive. We're going to release. And then we're going to hope and be grateful for the future because we're safe now. We're here. And I had to look at myself in the mirror and say that to myself. And I think those kinds of things are powerful. It's powerful for doing it on our own. Some of us need to tell ourselves that we are beautiful, that we are kind, that we do matter, that other people do care, that we have support, that we can do it, that we're going to make it. Some of us need to look in the mirror and tell ourselves that. And some of us need to look at other people and tell them that. People that we love and that we want to build or deepen intimacy with. Try it and let me know what happens. Some people might be like, you're weird. I tried it with a friend of mine and I said, I'm just going to look at him. And he was like, what are you doing? You're weird. And I was like, it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it's uncomfortable to be seen. Sometimes it's uncomfortable for people to see you, to look into you. But I think at the end of the day, the payoffs are deeper connection, less loneliness, more intimacy. Top 10 intimacy boosters, number 1. You guys can probably guess this one. Now, I promoted this list as things that you can do today, right now, for instant results. This is an outlier. My number 1 intimacy booster is travel. If you travel with folks, you will build intimacy and connection. There is no way that you can avoid it. You have to be in close quarters. You guys have to be stressed together. You guys have to face the challenges together. You guys got to do it together. You guys are on the trip together. You cannot get away. You're in the car for hours. You're on the bus for hours. You're on the plane. You're in the hotel, whatever. You have to figure your stuff out. You got to deal with the connection. You need to have those hard conversations. You got to do it. And all of that, you got to share. You're not going to just sit there, twiddle your thumbs and be like, oh, silent. Although that can be good too. People that you can be silent with, that's gold too, I must say. I tried to think of like how you could bring this down into today. You could do a day trip. You could do short-term travel. So this could be like a walk. It could be a drive from one town or city to another town or city. You guys are going somewhere on a journey. You're experiencing new things. You're experiencing new sights. Traveling will make or break you. Let's say that. I have 3 breakup stories after travel. After traveling with the person or even just on the trip, I'm like, no, it's not this. We're not even going any further. We're not even going to make it home. Gates G72 or C72 at Miami Airport. I was like, we're not even sitting together on this plane back. That's how much this showed me what this is not. I am going to the gate right now to change my seat. That's how travel is a game changer. It will show you whether or not you want to be intimate with somebody, whether or not you are intimate with somebody. You need to travel together with the people that you care about and work the stuff out. I hope that you don't ever go through a breakup at gate G72 or C72. But at the end of the day, it helps to reveal things. I push for this because I love to travel and I want to be around other people who love what I love and that we can do the thing that I love together. Part of what I look for are people who know how to travel well. And that speaks to their life values and to their consistency or their resilience and all that other stuff. Travel is a big thing. It builds connection. It boosts intimacy. It helps you guys have shared experiences. I think travel actually captures all other 9 intimacy boosters in one. And so you can experience all of those things in a travel experience. Go ahead and travel, plan a mini trip or a mini walk or a micro adventure, go tree trekking or something, and build intimacy. Boost intimacy with the people that you love and care for. Those are my top 10, guys. I hope that you try them today. I really sincerely believe that if you try them, they will work. Next week on the relationship series, we are going to be talking about top 10 cheat codes to becoming more dateable. This is you after divorce, after breakup. If you've never been in a relationship, if you're looking to get into a good relationship, these are the cheat codes that you will need to get yourself out there and to do your best. Join us next week on the relationship series.